Hello and welcome to my video demo. The product that I'm making is a phone and key holder that can mount to a magnetic surface. So my idea came from being at the gym actually. So when I frequently go to the gym, I usually see people using a bench by the squat rack, but they're not actually using it for exercise. They're just using it to place their phone and keys on. So if you don't know, a lot of people, when they go to the gym, they'll bring their bags with them, but they'll keep it in a locker. But they don't want to keep important things like their keys in a locker because it could get stolen. So they'll keep it with them at all times. But at the same time, when they're working out, they don't sometimes have a place to put it, and they don't want to put it on the ground either, especially with COVID and health scares and everything. So their solution to keep it off the ground and nearby is to have it at a bench. But this leaves no benches for people to actually use to be able to exercise. So my idea to solve this problem is to come up with a phone holder that can mount a phone and keys, but it's also magnetic, so you can mount it to the actual equipment at the gym, like a squat rack or any other machine that's metal that could basically be mounted with a magnet. So this is essentially what the prototype looks like. Just for the purpose of 3D printing, it was hard to come up with a design that would fit most phones, so I decided to just 3D print a plate that would go on the back of the phone and then use rubber bands just to secure it to the phone. And then on the side here, we have a little hook to hold the keys, but it's separated a little bit far away from this part so that depending on what phone you have, if it's like one of the bigger kinds of phones, then it'll still be able to fit here without obstructing this area to be able to put your keys. And then on the back, we have two strong magnets. So this way we could mount it, but I chose to use two magnets just so that it could be extra strong because we don't want the possibility of it falling and dropping our keys, because that defeats the whole purpose. Okay, so I just moved closer to the screen so that you could actually see me mounting this on. So here I have my mount, and here I have an iPhone. The way that I would mount it on is I would just pull the rubber out and then slide it in. So there, I just want to get it nice and snug. So I'm just rolling that up. And then for the top part of the mount, you do the exact same thing. So you just slide it over top, and here's what it looks like. So I'm not holding the phone right now, I'm just holding the mount. It's held on pretty nicely. This part's, like I mentioned, it's not even really doing much because these two pieces are a really tight fit, so even just that alone is enough to hold it. And then on the back here, you can't really tell, but there's little grooves here and in here. The point of that was supposed to be for the rubber to be able to adhere to this, like with super glue, while it's still flush. So do you see? I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's completely flush with the surface here. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. And I'll just grab a set of keys right now, just for an example. So I have a lot of keys here. It's pretty heavy, and I could easily mount that to the hook there. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how this would actually mount to something magnetic. I unfortunately can't do this at the gym because there's a rule against using video or pictures with your phone at the gym. So since I can't take a video there, I'm just going to take a video on my fridge. It's the same sort of idea. So I have this phone holder mounted to my phone, and I mount it to the fridge, and it holds just fine. It's pretty sturdy. This thing isn't going to go anywhere. And I have a bunch of keys. This is pretty heavy. There's 2 sets of keys on here and a bunch of keychains. And all I do is add it to the hook, and voila. that's it. This works fine. This isn't going anywhere. Neither are the keys. So now I'm going to go over the functional requirements that I created for my phone. So there's 5 in total. The first one is the phone and key holder shall fit standard size phones such as Android and Apple phones of different sizes. So previously when I demonstrated how the product works, I showed you that it fits to a standard iPhone. That's a smaller size phone because it's an iPhone 7. This one is a lot larger. It's a Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So this is almost twice the size as this one. And I have the dimensions in the documentation, but just to show you the different sizing of the phones and the phone case here. So it's still just as easily mountable. So you just pull the rubber backing, slide the phone in, so it fits snugly at the bottom, and then at the top you just do the same thing. So you just slide it over the top like that, get it to, you know, whatever orientation you want it. And again, I'm holding the plate, not the phone. So it holds just fine. As you can see here, there's still room left over for the keys to be mounted. And yeah. And then requirement 2 is that the phone and key holder shall attach to any magnetic surface. So I've previously demonstrated that when I mounted this to my fridge. So it mounts to magnetic surfaces no problem. Even if I try to shake it while it's on there, it doesn't move. The phone stays secure. Okay, and then requirement 3 states that the phone and key holder shall have the capacity to hold a set of keys. So as I've shown you before, I have this carabiner hook here with 2 sets of keys. It's very, very bulky. This thing is huge, and I was able to mount it on, and it stayed on just fine. Okay, so the next functional requirement is that the phone and key holder shall bear a minimum weight of 1 pound. 1 pound doesn't sound like a lot, but phones and keys are very light, a lot lighter than 1 pound, so I think that's a good number to go by. So as you can see here, right now the scale is zeroed out, and I'm just going to put things on that I would normally bring with me to the gym. So here I have a resistance band. Oh, you won't be able to see the scale. Okay, resistance band. I have my very bulky 2 sets of keys. I have my mask that I would want to put on there, and I also have my phone. So as you can see there, that makes up 1 pound. Okay, so now we're back at the fridge, and I'm going to mount everything that ended up being a pound. So first we got my phone, and let's say I want to hang my mask on here because I also don't want to put my mask on the ground. And then I have my resistance band and my 2 sets of keys on this giant carabiner hook. So I put it on. I think this is a lot more than most people would bring on here. As I've said, I have 2 sets of keys. Most people bring 1 and it's on a little key ring. I have 2 on this massive carabiner hook, and even with the giant size of this, it's still able to hold everything no problem. And then the final requirement is that the phone and key holder shall not obstruct the utility of the phone. So here I have the iPhone connected back again, and it's connected to this. So even with the rubber in the way, I could still, I don't know if you can see from the video, but I could still use a touch screen, no problem. It doesn't get in the way of any of the volume buttons. So I could still like increase and decrease the volume or lock the phone. Okay, so now that I've sort of explained how the product works and demonstrated how to use it and went over the tests, I'm just going to go over a little bit what the final product would look like. So what I've 3D printed is a really simple prototype, right? It just has 3D printed backing, some rubber and magnets. The final product would still be a mount that can fit to like most phones, just so that for manufacturing I don't have to make phone cases specific to every single type of phone. It would be easier to make something that's like more of a universal design. So it would actually in the end look really similar to one of these. This is a phone holder for when people are running, so it mounts to your arm. But the whole idea is it would be an injected molded plastic like this. Injection molded plastic, sorry. So it would be a lot thinner and smaller. And it would basically make up this square part. And then I would have some sort of rubber material that goes over top of it. So it would go over top of that plastic piece like a sleeve. And that plastic part would have this rubber sticking out of it, similar to how this rubber sticks out of this pieces. But instead of this shape and this design, it would have the same shape and design as this. And then on the back side, there would again be cutouts for the magnets. And I was limited in the magnets that I could buy. So as you can see here, the magnets are not flush with this surface. In mass production, these magnets would be a lot thinner and they would be flush with the surface, so they wouldn't be sticking out the way they are here. So the final design would look a lot nicer. It'd be a lot more visually appealing and a lot easier to carry around than this thing. But the functionality, in theory, would be the same. Okay, so that concludes the video demo. I hope you enjoyed.